Hi guys, welcome back, welcome in, welcome, welcome, welcome to your Sunday reset, our Sunday reset, where we literally just tap in and reset the energies for the upcoming week. Before we jump into the reading with the cards, we are going to be using our singing bowl to clear further any lingering energy that needs to be cleared, to connect to each other as a collective, and then as a collective directly to spirit, so we can get a really nice full message today. If you would like to use this time to call on any specific guides, deities, archangels, any beings of light that you would like to be present for this reading, please feel free to do so now. The more, the merrier. All right, guys, let's get into it. All right, guys, this is going to be Cancer specific, as I said last week. I'm going to start doing the Sunday resets, Zodiac specific. I focus on Cancer so heavily because they're the ones that watch my videos the most. When I post Cancer readings, Pisces readings, I used to do all of them. I used to do all the signs, and some of them didn't get a single view. And then when I do collective reads as well with no like specific zodiac, they tend to get like 0 views. So I'm just trying different things. We'll see what sticks. If nothing, then I might eventually just disappear into the shadows, but we'll see. For now, Spirit wants me to keep showing up and keep doing this, and it feels good to me. I like being here. I like connecting with the few people that connect, even if it's just me and Spirit. I'm okay with that too. So thank you so much for being here. If you are here, let's go ahead and see what Cancer needs to release from the past week. Let's start with, okay, let's start with this energy. We have the 6 of Cups, the 9 of Swords, the 10 of Wands, and the Page of Swords. Okay, so this could be pointing to a situation dealing with someone who's younger, a child, an air sign, specifically Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, child. They could be having some anxiety, or you could be having some, it doesn't even necessarily have to be anxiety, sleepless nights for whatever reason, excuse me, bad dreams, sleepwalking, hallucinations, sleep paralysis, any and all of those things could be happening to either you or your child. And so as a parent, if it's affecting your child, it's affecting you, right? Especially if they're younger, like still living at home, still very much reliant and dependent on you. This is not an older child who is grown, because that you wouldn't necessarily know, right? They're not still in your home or even in your room, in your bed, whatever, for you to see like they're having trouble sleeping because they're sick or they're having nightmares, whatever it is, you know. Um, but it's definitely with the 6 of Cups here with this page. It's just very much like child energy. It could be your child. It could be your inner child trying to get your attention, trying to speak to you through your dreams. Maybe you're having sleepless nights. You keep getting like woken up. Is that how you would say that? Woken up throughout the night multiple times, maybe at a specific time. Excuse me. Every morning, every night, every whatever. But there's definitely sleepless nights, restlessness. Maybe you're just tossing and turning, but it's because you're carrying too much. You're taking on too much still. You're taking on too much that isn't yours. Um, you're allowing people to put onto you their burdens and their hardships for you to shoulder. And that's just, it's in your nature. And I almost said unfortunately. It can be unfortunate because you tend to overextend time and time again. Also be very forgiving of people who do this to you over and over and continue to take on their burdens, because you can. Like, it's easy for you to do more. It's easy for you to shoulder and shut up and just kind of not suffer in silence, because I don't think you suffer, but definitely holding yourself back. in what's in honor kind of other people, in I don't know how to explain or how to put that into words, but for other people, you're willing to like sacrifice your own happiness, your own future even. But that is changing, because I feel like you realize the more you do, like you can't fight other people's battles for them. They're eventually going to have to do the work themselves. You can't carry their load forever. And if this is your children, obviously they're your children. And as their parent, maybe now you're trying to give them the skills that they need to succeed, so it's not a constant feeling like you have to like do everything for them, like teaching them how to do their own laundry and care for themselves, so when they are on their own they know how to do those things and they don't have to depend on you. They don't have to come home every weekend, or you don't have to go to their place and clean and cook and do all of these things for them. They are self-sufficient. And as you move into a new phase, I feel like, of your life, you could be an empty nester now. You could be getting close to, maybe you have like children in their senior years, either high school, college. Maybe this is your first year away from your child. It's really specifically one child right now, but that's not to say that you don't have more than one. That could be the thing. Your kid is off at college. Maybe they're studying abroad, or they're in a different state, and it's kind of nerve wracking. Maybe they're having a lot of anxiety. They could be starting like having their first class soon. So there's a lot of anxiety surrounding that. It doesn't necessarily feel like yours, but it is affecting you, and it is yours in the sense that, again, your child's worries are your worries. Your child's battles are your battles. At this point, it still feels like that. But this Six of Cups is also giving a sense of like you could have felt really nostalgic this last week. Like it's Sunday right now. We're starting a new week. I mean, time is irrelevant and it's made up, but in terms of like context and timeline, right? We're going to call it what it is. We're starting a new week. This was the energy from last week that we're now moving away from, that we are turning our focus from, and we are refocusing on. Sorry, we're about to find out what we're refocusing on, but so far, I'm trying to pop my back because it kind of hurts. We're refocusing on ourselves, turning inward. If you have questions, seeking stillness, seeking silence so you can receive the answers. I think you've come to terms with, and you understand that no one is going to come and give you the answers. No one is going to come and save you and do what you've been wanting to do. Like, there's no one. That's not going to happen. Even if there are people around that want to, they don't have the ability. So it's not going to happen. You're going to have to do it yourself. And the answers for whatever question you may have, what direction do I go next? Where do I put my energy next? Especially if you are experiencing like empty nester, a different phase of your life, you could be very much at a crossroads and seeking answers. You understand very well that those answers are not going to come from anyone but Source, God, yourself, your angels, any and all of those. They're all the same, right? We are all connected. We are all God. We all come from God, return to that exact same thing. Source, call it what you want. But we're definitely refocusing on identifying what makes us happy if you don't necessarily know, or this is something like a wish being fulfilled that maybe you even forgot about. Maybe you're like, oh my God, I forgot that I even like wanted to do this. Is something that I've been wanting to do for so long, and it's just I've been so focused on other things, I completely lost sight of this. Maybe you have a bucket list, and you come across it. I don't know, because with this nostalgia card being here, very reminiscent of going home, going through old things, old photos, boxes, stumbling across things that could, yeah, you could maybe a bucket list from like when you were in high school and you're like, oh my God, I completely forgot that that's something that I had wanted to do. But you're definitely getting a lot of wishes being fulfilled, not just one. It's not just like, oh, that was fun, that was nice. This is like huge, life changing wish fulfillment. It's all but one of your cups being filled. And that's not to say that something is missing and that it's not a full 10 of cups. You could definitely have that 10 of cups feeling, that contentment, that ultimate happiness, the happily ever after, fairy tale ending, whatever you want to call it. This is the wish being fulfilled that leads to that stability, to that long-term emotional fulfillment. But this is that initial like life-changing wish being granted. And you're just like really taking it all in. I feel like maybe this week you receive really good news, or you make a really big step towards something and it makes space for this to come in. So you're going to take a little breather to take it all in and appreciate it. That was in reverse. I want to note that the 5 of Wands was in reverse. The Devil was also on the bottom of the deck. That is Capricorn energy. That is very it could be a toxic attachment. It could be relationship, job, situation, a place, like a literal like place you could be too attached to, codependent on. I know that sounds weird, but as Cancers, um, we can tend to get attached to things, particularly vehicles, homes. Um, we kind of carry our home with us everywhere we go. We're very much our own home, but as our actual homes are an extension of that. They're an extension of ourselves. We feel very much. So you could be maybe outgrowing some things as you call in more, and just detaching from the things that you have unhealthy. Unhealthy is the key. Unhealthy attachments too. We have the 5 of Cups on the bottom of the deck. There's going to be lots of people mourning the loss of you. I feel like it doesn't have to be an actual passing. It could just be grief over a situation, grief over losing your energy, your light, whether if this is a job, relationship. Those are the two main ones, the two main energies that are being presented here. But in either of those cases, you pull your energy back. When you break up with somebody, you don't continue to put the same energy into them as you once did. When you leave a job, you're not there every day. You're not putting your energy into that space anymore. So it's going to feel really different, and people are going to feel the loss of that energy. It could feel like an actual loss with the 5 of Cups popping out. And there's that 5 of Wands again. This is a very competitive, petty, gossipy. If this is a work situation, that Devil could have been presenting itself as your boss, as a manager, someone who is above you. There's a very toxic cycle that could be playing out there that needs to be left, because there is an actual leader. There is an actual, whether this is you stepping into this Emperor energy, you becoming the leader, you have an idea, you're going to execute it. You're going to be the one that is fostering and setting up the work culture, if that makes sense. So if you have in the past worked for companies that you didn't like the way they operated, you didn't like the way the managers treated people, you didn't like how things were run, you're now going to have the chance to run the shit. And if it's not you in this exact moment, there is an Emperor who is a really positive, he's a really powerful, he's an uplifting leader. I say he because Emperor, masculine energy, it doesn't have to be. Place gender wherever you feel fit. That is not literally does not matter. This is just a masculine presenting energy. And it's only masculine in that it's the one taking the action, it's the one doing, it's the one providing. The flip side of that, the feminine energy, is the one that receives. She just sits back and literally her blessings pour in, and she just receives and is showered in gifts, attention, luxury, all of these things. The emperor is the one making that happen. They are counterparts. Um, you could be operating alone in a single space right now with just one of them showing up, and it is the masculine. So again, this is going to be um, a job situation where you leave a devil kind of energy boss and you align with an emperor type energy. Whether, again, that's in you and you're the one starting the thing, or it is a new boss, a new partner, a new investor, a new something. Emperor is also Aries energy, could be Aries. All right, last card, the Two of Swords. Yeah, we were talking about kind of being at a crossroads, needing to make a decision, decide which way you're going to go. But I feel like if you haven't done that already, you're getting very close to that this week. That could be your focus. Really, what is that? When I speak of these things, when we have the Two of Wands here, I haven't even talked about that yet. So we have 2-2 showing up here for us. Then we have 4-4, and we have 9-9. Interesting. There's a few repeating numbers here. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. This two of Wands and this Two of Swords, them showing up in tandem here. The Two of Wands was out first. This is someone who is very focused on a vision. They have their vision of what the world looks like, what their world looks like, what they want it to look like in their hands. This could also be the feeling of looking at the world and seeing what it needs right now. We need more light. We need more laughter. We need more positivity. We need more brightness, right? It's very heavy. It's very dark. There's lots of weird, disgusting things that I feel like are finally being presented so they can be corrected. If you're like me and you live in the US, I feel like things are going to need to be completely torn down, because if you know anything about our government and history and what it was built on and how it was built and by whom, it is not a positive. Nothing good can come from it. It can't flourish. It can't do anything. It's just oppressive and it's stifling for a lot of people. And if one community is oppressed and stifled, it affects everybody. You can't live in peace, in harmony, and all of these things if you are actively participating in the oppression of other people. Anyways, so that could be why, like, that energy, focusing on what you are providing to the world, what you want to be to the world, how you want to show up. Because it feels like you could go whatever direction you want right now. With this Two of Swords energy, she is putting herself in this position. She obviously, no one did that to her. She came in, or they came and sat down with their swords and was like, all right, I'm going to hold these two swords. Whichever one I drop first is what I'm going to do, right? Stay home or go out. You know what I mean? Move across the country or stay where I'm at for another 5 years, and whichever one drops first is what you decide, because they really don't want to make the decision. But I feel like you are, and you do want to make the decision, and you're putting in a lot of really solid work to process this and to figure out which path you want to be on. Because you could have a lot of paths, a lot of things, but you know that you really need to focus on one right now. Like, and you got to make a decision. You can't stay, you can't stay stagnant. You can't stay in this place of like, oh, I don't know what to do. You know what to do. Temptation will test you. With the devil, that does not surprise me. That could be addiction. That could be like any form of addiction, really. Drugs, alcohol, gambling, sex, porn, all of the things, or anything could be an addiction, right? And I feel like you've moved away from that. You've made a conscious decision to detach from that energy. It could be popping up to test you. You could be reaching one of those points in your timeline, the point in the cycle where it's like you've been no contact or whatever it was for months and months and months, and then they pop up and you fall back into the cycle, and it just keeps repeating and repeating forever, right? This is the point where you make a different decision and you go a different way. Or maybe with this July card being here, there was a test of your temptation back in July. What are we, August? End of August. That maybe you didn't even notice, maybe you didn't even identify it, but you completely avoided it and you didn't fall into temptation. So now that's kind of why this new world is opening up to you. And we have bear here, danger, especially in money matters. I don't know why it came out like that. Especially in money matters. I don't like seeing that. I don't think anybody does, but just pay a little bit closer attention to your budget this week. Prioritize. Obviously, you guys are really good at that, making sure all of your bills and everything are paid first. But instead of like paying all of your bills and then saying, oh, well, I can afford to spend that, or I can just maybe don't spend that. Maybe save it instead. Just wait. Wait, just not, even if it's just a week, just wait a sec. Give it a beat. Do I really need this? Or am I gonna get home and be like, did I really need this? That's too many. Thank you, though. Just a few cards for Cancer, please. What else? Let's focus on where we're going, not where we've been, please. Where's Cancer going this week? That's a few. That's good. Okay, letter, scythe, and heart. Oh my gosh, my voice. Let me get a sip of water. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Okay. If my voice will come back. So we have letter and heart. You could be receiving some sort of DM with the temptation card here. It could be from an ex. We just came out of Mercury retrograde, but we're still kind of in the shadow period, maybe for another week. So this week, at the very tail end of it, when you think you're almost like, oh, thank God, I made it through a whole Mercury retrograde without this thing from my past popping back up. And then on Friday it does. You're like, what the fuck? It doesn't have to be anything negative, bad, anything like that. If you choose to ignore it, ignore it. If you choose to engage, be mindful. Don't get sucked back in with anything from the past. I feel like there's nothing from the past that's really coming forward at this time, except for obviously like your kids and if you're in a relationship. But I feel like a lot of the collective is having a solo journey right now. We also got the scythe here. I think that's how you say that word. I don't know. It's like a sickle, essentially, for like harvesting wheat. I don't know. But this card speaks about cutting something off before it's detrimental. In this story, this is a fairy tale, Lenormand, so they use fairy tales to tell the story. But in this one, it's like a husband and a wife. And the husband is a true, like, I hate my wife, final boss. Just negs and is awful. But anyways, he's like, there's no way you could survive and do what I do, and you take for granted what I do. Your life is so easy. And she's like, okay, well, let's switch. I'll go to work and do what you do, and you can stay here and do what I do. Well, that doesn't go well. He basically like burns the whole house down and destroys everything, and she has to come home just in time to see like their cattle hanging from a tree, about to fucking die. I don't even know how. Like, how did that even happen? We don't know, but she has to cut it down before they lose their livelihood, and then she has to come correct everything. So like, tale as old as time, right? A man comes in and shits all over everything, and a woman has to fix it before it's like crisis. She would obviously be better off without this man, honestly. Or if he would even just stay in his lane and just provide and go to work and not be a bitch, right? Things would have been fine. But that's not how life goes. So this card speaks to identifying and cutting those types of situation, people, um, energies out of your life before it's detrimental, before it causes irreversible damage, right? Like the loss of your livelihood, your cattle, your whatever. Actually, you know what? I think, okay, no, I will. One last time. We'll use this Lammas deck. Lammas is on August 1st. I was using, or I have been using both this and the Mabon because we're right in between those two seasons. We're fast approaching autumn. Oh, I'm so excited. September 21st is the autumn equinox. So we are like a month or so away. Crisper days are finally here for where I am, anyways, the Midwest. It's nice and crisp and breezy and beautiful. So we're going to use this in the Mabon again because I feel like both energies are relevant right now. So let's see. What else is here for Cancer for this week? Spirit, speak to me and through me to Cancer. What else is here? Okay. I don't know if I want to take 4 cards or if I'm going to read about them all, but here we go. Hilltops, fruit jam, garden tools, and community service. Oh, I love that. I feel like that comes really naturally when you start focusing on yourself. And I feel like I said this, but maybe I didn't say it out loud. That's weird. I have a memory of saying it, but I don't know if it was just a thought that I actually said or if I didn't say it out loud. But where you like fit into the world and what you have to offer, how you can be of service and bring more light, or whatever it is that you're wanting to bring into this world, that could play really closely into community service. I also really think it's going to be important for a lot of us to detach from social media and getting sucked into strangers' lives, people that we don't know. Not that that's a bad thing. I feel like we can learn a lot from global social media that we don't obviously get from our news networks and such. We all know those are very, very compromised and none of it is real anymore. So in that aspect, yes, it is great, but I feel like you're plugging more into your community. You're pouring into your community and your community is pouring back into you. You could be organizing some sort of like block party. Maybe you're opening or working at a soup kitchen. There's some sort of community aspect to your life this week. Yay, just one nice little card from the Mabon. Haunted house, perfect, beautiful, okay. Let's read about, let's just start with community service, may as well. Card number 8, 8 could be significant. Giving back, acts of kindness, offering, resources. I love that word. The community service card has appeared. Sorry, I feel like there's a spider web on me. The community service card has appeared to bring a beautiful message of how transformative and healing kindness can be in your life. Moments of compassion and generosity have the ability to brighten someone's day, inspire hope, affirm support, and become one more deposit towards healing the wounds of humanity. Which also, I feel like this card is very much that. This older person, to me, this is what this card evokes. This this person is going back to their hometown, to their community, whatever, and offering things that they've acquired, things that they have gathered, resources, even if it's just love and emotion and support. And they're going back and offering that to a younger generation. So you could be doing something with, I feel like I said this last week too, outreach, outreach program, but specifically with youth, with younger people. You could have children, so you're doing something in combination with your children. Okay. This card is a gentle reminder to actively seek opportunities to give to a worthy cause, whether that's your favorite charity or helping a next door neighbor. Doing so is not just for the benefit of others, but also a way to nourish your own soul, which is not why we should be doing it, but it's okay. Kindness can only be given from an open heart, willing to allow the essence of love to channel through. By consciously choosing to be kind, you are affirming your desire to experience greater connection, which will inevitably return to you in the form of increased finances, experiencing more love, and an openness to new opportunities, fulfillment, purpose, and the manifestation of your most heartfelt desires, which is this card right there. Community service acts. Giving back to your community is a powerful way to make an impact in the world and leave a legacy of kindness. It doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. There are many simple, everyday ways you can give back that will bring joy, comfort, and support to others. Here are some ways. Make time in your schedule for volunteering, whether it's helping out your local homeless shelter or simply visiting elderly friends in nursing homes. Small acts of service add up quickly. Get involved with the cause you care about, which could mean donating money or supplies, joining an organization devoted to environmental protection or social justice, or even just posting helpful information about relevant topics on social media. Pay it forward. Random acts of kindness can take many forms, from holding the door open for a stranger or complimenting someone on their outfit or hairstyle. Positive vibes are contagious and will often lead to brighter days for everyone involved. By taking small steps to reach out in your community, you can create lasting change in the world around you. Giving back isn't just about generosity, it's also about connecting to the human experience and learning what it means to be part of something larger than yourself. Maybe that's how you're spending your time this week. This is going to sound literally outlandish. You could be starting your work week, quote unquote, at your job, like a 9 to 5. I don't know what the fuck's going on with my voice. Just bear with me. I'm sure it'll get itself together. But you're ending the week, like you quit that job and you're focusing all your attention on how you're going to give back to your community, starting a non-for-profit, working for one. Again, I know that sounds outlandish to say that you're going to quit your job this week. I don't feel like it's that far-fetched for a lot of you. I feel like at a moment's notice, you're kind of ready to quit working for other people. Like that's just not your thing, right? We're really good employees, but we just don't want to work for other people. We don't want to build up other people's dreams. So I feel like maybe you're reaching a point where you realize that this week and you're like, I actually have free will and I don't have to be here. Maybe you're putting in your 2 weeks and that even just doing that, it frees up so much space for you to focus on where you want to actually put your attention and your energy and your focus. And the things that bring you joy, the things that you can pour into. Looking at this card, a community garden, maybe you're turning your front yard into a community garden instead of a lawn that has to be mowed. Maybe you're going to talk to your neighbors. You see a lot of green space, like lawn space that's unused. Like, hey, how would you feel if we turn this into a community garden? Would you help me if I provided the seeds and did the work? Would you help me with the land or whatever I don't know. Something along those lines. Let's read about garden tools. Card number 23. garden tools. There we are. Being prepared, proper skills, knowing your trade. Tools make mastering a craft so much easier. Imagine the days when our ancestors had to sow, tend, and harvest without proper instruments. It's challenging enough today, even with access to the best tools in human existence. Of course, they may do, but there's a reason why various gizmos and machinery were invented. So we don't have to struggle as our ancestors might have done. There are times when resourcefulness and making do with what you have are noble pursuits, but it is not one of those times. Cutting corners will result in equally limiting success. You are in need of more skills, better instruments, mentors, and other ways to grow if you are going to continue down the path in a successful way. In the emotional realm, pulling this card could be a sign that someone is being manipulative or isn't being honest about how much they have to offer. Excuse me? What does that mean? What does that mean? That they have more to offer and they're not saying, or that they have less to offer and they're saying that they have more, but that they're going to come up short? What does that mean? There is a tendency to make a lot. Oh, okay. There's a tendency to make a lot of promises, but sorry, my little eye itches. There is a tendency to make a lot of promises, but ultimately they may not be equipped to follow through. Damn, that is a shitty feeling. In a financial reading, this card can mean cutting corners will lead to costly mistakes. Maybe that's what this bear is showing us, that we just need to, if you want to like invest in your business and like more equipment, maybe you need a very specific tool. I would say save up a little bit more and get the nicer version of it. Like, don't get just a cheap version of something just to have it sooner. If it means like you can save for just a tiny bit longer and you can have like a really nice, luxurious version of it that will provide the experience that you're looking for, is what I'm getting. Okay. You might save a few bucks for now, but in the long term, results could be devastating. Be sure to build a strong foundation and learn as much as you can before signing contracts or moving forward with any plans. Okay. Let's go back to card number 21, fruit jam. I do know this is about like preservation, and when things are like, when the fruit is about to go bad, you make jam out of it or whatever, can it, so it lasts longer. Preservation, resourcefulness, zero waste. We talked about resourcefulness in that last card, and it said now's not the time to use what you have. Now's the time to upgrade and get the right thing. So we'll see. People the world over look forward to fresh fruit erupting in the summertime. The sweetness of the berries, the sharpness of the citrus, the unique flavors of tropical fruits are a delight to the senses. Sadly, fruit doesn't last very long on its own, which forced our ancestors to be resourceful. Oh, that's not what that says. To find resourceful ways to preserve summer's bounty. To you, my darling, you too. God damn it. I'll figure out how to read one day. I promise. You too, my darling, are being guided to make use of what you have and find clever ways to extend the life of your current resources. I feel like, as contradictory as that feels to what we literally just read, they do go hand in hand, because Spirit is just saying that while we're in this period of maybe saving up for the nicer things or not rushing into something just to have it, you could be using, or you should be using, what you already have, so you don't have to spend. So you don't feel like you have to spend right away because you have plenty right now. So save what you do have. So you can spend a little bit more to get the nicer and not cut corners, not do the cheap way out, right? Okay, let's keep reading. Sorry. You too, my darling, are being guided to make use of this. You do not need more time, money, or opportunities to be successful, because what you have can be enough if you are willing to stay open-minded to the possibilities of what it could be. Having more paint does not make you a better artist, in the same way that having more clothes does not make you stylish. Okay. How you use things is what's most important. This is your sign that the grass is greener where you water it. In the realm of relationships, consider whether the relationship is truly over. Eh, How can you bring fresh energy to your relationship? If you're looking for love, this card could be a sign to reconnect with a past lover. Absolutely not. Don't do that. Don't do that. I don't know. This card feels a little bit out of place and contradictory. I do feel like it is just simply pointing. Again, we have this imagery of like an elder passing down knowledge and skills to someone younger. That could be what this card is pointing to for us, for you right now. That could be the direction that you're going to take with the charity. You're going to be teaching something, a skill. Maybe you're opening a school that is going to actually teach useful skills to children, life skills. I'm getting specifically young adults. It doesn't have to be like little children. It could be young adults. Maybe you're teaching like cooking, life skills in general. Okay, we're going to put that up there because it feels very specific. Wait, why are you picking those up? That's not what we're doing. We're going to read about hilltops. Last one out of the Lammas deck. Perspective, reaching new heights, holding the vision. How peaceful is it to climb to the top of a hill on a cool summer evening and look out over the village below. From there, everything seems small, even insignificant. The expansive view almost feels like your soul expanding, allowing you to see the bigger picture in your imagination, the solitude and freedom to explore new possibilities. There's a reason the hilltop offers quiet and solitude. Climbing to the summit signifies the ability to conquer difficulties and reach new heights, something many people are not brave enough to do. There are some who won't even allow themselves to contemplate what if, let alone take any steps to work towards ascending to greatness. But you are not such a person. You've pulled this card because there is a visionary hiding within your spirit. I don't know that they're necessarily hiding, but maybe a little bit, yeah. I don't know that you've let your visionary fully shine, yeah. Your job now is to hold that vision in your mind's eye. By doing so, you create a powerful intention that guides your thoughts, actions, and decisions, quietly moving you closer to achieving your goals. Keep dreaming, planning, taking calculated risks, and being willing to do what others are afraid to do, mostly believing in yourself. I feel like that is very hard for you. Could be because how you were raised, your inner dialogue, just how the world is right now, how it's always been, whatever. You could find it hard to believe in yourself, but now it's getting easier. I feel like you're kind of at the point where if I don't believe in myself, if I don't bet it all on myself, no one else is going to. So it's time that I do. If I don't invest in myself, if I don't make this happen, no one else is going to. So I'm going to do it. Now is the time. And that, get out of here. All right, let's read our Mabon Haunted House card. What number is that? 22. Ooh, my tummy's rumbling. Unsettled issues, a need to let go or clean house. Okay. Oh, that's also what I was going to say with this fruit jam card. This, I feel like, is not only what we talked about before, but it's also spirit pointing to using up what you have now. Don't let what you have now go to waste. Oh my God. This could literally be like food waste. I feel like spirit is calling you to move differently. So maybe taking all of the food that you have in your fridge, you're wanting to clear out your fridge, you're wanting to clear out something, clear out your closet, But maybe as you're doing that, you're finding like you can use these things for whatever. I can donate these things, or there's a lot of art supplies in here that I can create art with. So Spirit is saying, while you're in this moment of, you know, you need to upgrade, you know, you need more, you know, you're expanding, but you're saving for it, kind of is what I'm getting, so you can invest and get really good quality things. While you're in that period, you're going to be using what you have. You're going to be leaning heavily on things that you've had in storage. You could be clean. Like if you are moving, if you are expanding out of a home, I feel like the things that you're coming across in that process are useful and you could put them to use, whether that's to make money to afford a move or whatever it is. Let's go ahead and read about this. Sorry. Your higher self chose this card because a person or situation from your past is preventing you from experiencing the bliss that is waiting for you once you clear this energy from your orbit. You might see the energy of this card manifest in an ex who continues to come back into your life whenever it's convenient for them to do so. We kind of touched on that with this temptation cycle that you could be dealing with. Perhaps you are a loyal friend. Perhaps you are a loyal friend. You are loyal to a friend who is not loyal to you in return. Goddamn. And despite how many times you have been burned, you continue to support them when they call. Oh my God. We also talked about this with that 10 of Wands. Like you're very forgiving and you're very accommodating and you're very giving. So this could be a cycle that you're now putting to rest. It could be, again, a job. Maybe you've been very accommodating and you've taken on a lot without receiving literally anything in return. I feel like you're at your breaking point though, and you're like pushing it all off. I'm not doing this anymore. You literally could be quitting a job this week. And that's you having loyalty to things that don't have loyalty to you. Okay. You might be staying with you. Fuck. The next sentence. You continue to support them when they call. You might be staying with an employer who doesn't value you or your ideas, so you feel as though your talent is being overlooked or wasted. Choosing to let go of what brings you pain is a critical form of self-care. Haunted House prompts you to examine the people and areas of your life that make you feel trapped, afraid, abandoned, hurt, and confused. These situations may trigger something within you. And when you are blended with these emotional bombs, you may be blinded to the exit. When you are blended with these emotional bombs, you may be blinded to the exit. The door might have been right in front of you this entire time, but you are experiencing an illusion that has led you to believe there's no escape. You may have taken on a role of a healer and believe it's your job to change the actions of others. It is not. Your responsibility is your own healing and well-being. Even though it may be painful, taking steps to set boundaries with others provides a healing pathway for them as well. By letting go, you are choosing not to enable their behaviors and you are shining a light on their shadows. You very well could be the healer after all, simply by taking steps to heal yourself. Well, yes, that's exactly what healing is. You cannot heal anybody else. You can guide them. You can heal yourself and be a light and be like an example, but you cannot force anybody to heal or do their healing for them. Okay. I think we have a very interesting week coming up. There could be lots of shifts happening, lots of things changing. We are at, oh my gosh, 50 minutes. Holy shit. That's the longest Sunday reset I think I've ever done. We must have really needed it. I love you guys so very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.